So in this lesson today, which I'm just going to show you and demonstrate how, when you're in the classroom, and many teachers I know struggle with this, how do I actually incorporate elements of blended learning when I don't actually have all my students with a device? I always say to them, the interactive whiteboard is a great tool. So in this activity, I'm just going to quickly show you how you can get your students to engage with their learning and use this task. Simple question was on the board. Ask one of the students just to come up really quickly and explain what they understand by the flipped homework that they were given, which was all about human rights. So this is one of the responses. Now I'm going to ask another student to come to the board, and I'm going to ask them to change the color so that I can remember which student has made a comment, because I'm going to label them and write their names on the board just so that we can remember who's made a particular contribution. So simply here I've written on the board the students' responses in different colors. So this is in red, and then I've written the names of the students to indicate which students came up and made their contribution. So all this can be saved, and this can be kept as evidence that the students had made this contribution to their learning, and again they've engaged with the process. Another way this activity could be used is on a rotation system. So in the class I have my interactive whiteboard going, and I have groups of students. They will come and answer some questions while other students in the class are continuing with their work, possibly paper-based or possibly using or sharing a digital device. So there are a number of different interactive whiteboard resources that you can use, and simply, like I use something like this in one of my maths lessons. So I have a group of students, and we've just started this particular activity. We're looking at fractions, and just a really quick, they've walked into my lesson, a quick starter, and all I have to do is ask some of the students to draw. So there are a number of different interactive whiteboard resources that you can use, and simply, like I use something like this in one of my maths lessons. So I have a group of students, and we've just started this particular activity. We're looking at fractions, and just a really quick, they've walked into my lesson, a quick starter, and all I have to do is ask some of the students to drag and drop in this particular activity. So the student has just placed these two items on top of the scales, and all we have to do now is simply check, is the answer correct? See here, the student hasn't quite got it right, so we're going to have another go. So a simple activity like this could well form part of your blended learning strategy. Students really enjoy activities like this because it gets them to come up to the front. I will usually write down the names of the students I would like to participate in my activity, because I will have a number of these going, and I know, according to their abilities, which students would be able to contribute to a particular activity. So now we can see that a number of students have had a go at this particular activity, and they've got this right. A nice happy face appears, and it's really simple task to do. Doesn't take that long, but as they've walked into the classes, they've seen their names on the board, and they know which students are going to engage in this activity. So this just shows I've written their names really quickly on the board. Students just know that this is the practice I have in place, so they will just come in. Tina knows she needs to go first, and she will complete the first task, which she has already done, and she's got it right, and it's on the board. So just a really simple activity like this can be so useful and used constructively as part of your blended learning strategy. Okay, so the resource I was just showing you was actually from the Top Marks website. Really good interactive tools and resources are available. So if you're interested in any of these activities, this would be a good place to go to.